Hainesville Committee of the Whole meeting will now come to order at 8:07 p.m. on June 9th, 2015. Roll call.
Mayor Linda Soto.
Still here.
Trustees Darrenowski absent. Georgianne Duberstein. Here. Barrett.
Here.
Hein. Here. Daly.
Here.
And George Duberstein.
Here.
Okay, can I have a motion for approval of tonight's agenda?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Trustees Georgianne Duberstein. Aye. Barrett.
Aye.
Hein. Aye. Daly.
Aye.
And George Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, I'm going to try to do a motion for both sets of minutes on two separate committee meetings. Finance for May 5th and wetland meeting minutes for May 7th, and unless anybody has any changes or desire for discussion.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Trustees Georgianne Duberstein.
Aye.
Barrett.
Aye.
Hein. Aye. Daly.
Aye.
And George Duberstein.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Typically, Linda, are we going to have votes during the committee as a whole?
Mainly only for approval of the agenda and approval of minutes. Yeah. Otherwise, no action.
There will
No.
be no more committee minutes.
Yes, there'll be committee of the whole minutes.
Oh, committee of the whole thing. I'm thinking individual.
Yes, we did that as to catch up, so to speak.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we will begin our committee of the whole with Finance and Human Resources. Jerry Daly.
Okay, I'm going to open with an apology for what might appear to be a scattered presentation. About 25 minutes before the regular board started, I came up with an idea of what to say about finance and personnel. So let me start off with a little bit of an overview of what the committee has done in the past. The Finance Committee, when we would meet monthly, would approve and or question the monthly bills. We would discuss priorities for spending. We discuss our work together to develop a budget. I would report the results of the audit. We would discuss and develop and approve employee raises. We would discuss and establish the tax rate, develop numerous, and we also developed numerous office practices over the 6 years that I've been chairing this. Now, when I say us, not only as a committee, but it's Kelly, and it's also done in talking with the other ladies in the office. So I'm not taking all the credit, but this is some of the stuff the Finance Committee has done. Personnel has been somewhat different. It's not something we really discussed often in the Finance Committee, but the mayor, myself, and the staff began our time 5-6 years ago by rewriting the personnel handbook and have updated it as needed. I've participated in the hiring process many times, not in all instances, but I have to sign off on new hires. The Finance Committee and I and the ladies and the mayor worked up the salary ranges, the salary study that we put through last year. We worked with the mayor and Jim Rock on individual personnel issues if something comes up. I've had more than ample opportunity for input. What's going on now? Well, obviously, you've heard it a number of meetings in a row with the software implementation. I am working on setting up access for the trustees and for Jeff Gately. The ladies have enough to do with just trying to learn all the processes to complete their job. So since I went through the training, I'm trying to get, let's say, the gateways open for all of you to be able to view either your part of the general ledger that you're responsible for, or possibly even the whole thing. And I'm in the planning stage with access, and then it'll be an ongoing project, and eventually we'll need your input and suggestions. We will be working on access for the residents under part of this new software program, where they will be able to view all information concerning their water bills, their history of the water bills, we'll be able to, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, Kelly, they'll be able to request work through this MyGov access?
That I'm not sure of right now.
Okay. And they'll also be able to use this site, or that, it's called MyGov Access. They'll be able to use that for payment? Okay. Also going on now, and Kelly reported on earlier, is we're changing payroll from in-house to ADP, which hasn't been totally smooth, but once again, the ladies have put in the hours necessary. We're switching from Easy Pay, which is the site that's available on our website now for bill payment, to Point and Pay, because Point and Pay works with our BSNA software.
Yeah, it's one of the vendors. You won't really know that you're going to Point and Pay. You'll be going to within our website, access online payment, and it's gonna say the MyGov access. So you won't even know you're going to another party, basically.
I'm also working on creating customized reports. Kelly mentioned earlier that the finance report you had is rather long. Well, I've dabbled in it a little bit and found that I know enough to be dangerous, but not enough to be good. So I have the manual at home that BSNA provided me just this last week, and I will play and then run it by the ladies so they can tell me how dumb I was or why this wouldn't work. And then we'll finally get something out there that'll be efficient. This new software is good, but it reminds me how humbling a change like this can be, where you're so used to doing things a certain way, and all of a sudden there's a better way, and we have to change. But it'll get done. Also, what's going on is in finance, the preparation for the upcoming audit, and that has been delayed somewhat because of the implementation of the new software. But the good part about this, it'll be, as Kelly goes through the setup for this, or the meetings with the, what's his name, Jim?
John Delaney.
We'll start being able to use our new software, or learn how to use it to incorporate it in next year's audit, which will hopefully simplify what has been a very time-consuming process of gathering bills. One of the benefits of the software is our actual invoices or bills will be scanned in, and we may eventually have to be able to reduce our paper files. And when the auditor comes in, we'll be able to give them access. If you want to look at an invoice, here it is, look it up. Instead of Kelly or Roe or Kathy having to go into a paper file that exists in a box across the road and dig it out and bring it back.
Does that mean we can get them to pay to charge us less if it's going to be easier?
Georgia, you know what my mindset is on that. Let's see, another thing that was just done is Dina is now a member of the Finance Committee, Finance and Personnel. I had asked her to read the personnel manual, to get a new set of eyes on it, and she just completed that and contacted me and said she feels, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it's fairly solid, well laid out, and meets our needs. And you should, if you haven't already, if you haven't gotten a copy, but you might want to ask her, you can get one in your mailbox, you can take a look at it for your input. Never hurts to have another set of eyes. Let's see, something else that's in the work right now is we're always looking for ways to improve our processes. And one of the things that's, well, you can actually see, there's notes on it already, is we're going to start implement a purchase requisition form. We do have an ordinance in place that says, as chairs of a committee, you can approve expenditures up to $300 under your signature, but you can't do it over $300. That requires this signature of the department head and the mayor, and that can, the mayor and myself as finance chair, we can approve up to $5,000. Anything exceeding $5,000 requires approval by the board. Now, whether that's Linda getting consensus from us because something comes up quickly, or we sitting in the meeting and doing it. We haven't been tracking that. And in some cases, there's been expenditures made, and it's more like, oh, it's easier to get forgiveness than permission. So with this new purchase requisition, which is probably 3 weeks away from implementation, it's going to be approved first before we sign off on any checks. And it's just another control. Let's see. Another thing that's going on right now is I'm looking at our mobile phone contract. We might be looking to upgrade phones and seeing if we can get more current features that will serve the mayor and Jeff, and the third phone will probably go to Tyler. So I'm looking to work with Verizon and see if we can get more service for equal or less pay.
Are we looking at an actual phone, or would we be considering maybe a tablet? Because there's been talk about that.
Kind of hard to carry a tablet on your hip.
Going back, well, I mean, I think we need both. But I think with the new work order system, instead of having the paper come to me, is that something that could be emailed, that you can zap and have back?
We did, during training, we were powwowing about the work order situation, and we said for the amount of papers that we have right now, let's just do it. We print off the work order, give it to you, because you still come in the office every morning and in the
Right.
afternoon, so you can pick it up. Then we can get through that process to see what work orders we're doing, how many, and then we can
Right.
figure out moving that online, because that would be part of within the software that you would be able to see and go. But there's the setup,
So,
like
okay.
Trustee Daly was saying, the
Yeah.
setup.
It's just one of those down the road things once we get more comfortable with what we have.
So what is to me?
Our original thinking was, we were talking about the tablets, Jeff, was maybe that was something we would go to next year.
Okay.
Even though maybe we could get them at the same price, although I would think there would be some increased cost for the tablets, so I could be wrong.
I wasn't really aware of it. I'll take a look if we're talking about it.
Yeah, I know, we
Yeah.
talked about it in the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah, but the point is that while we have all this new software and things are a lot easier in there, as Kelly said, we're still tweaking things, and now it also requires a whole new set of procedures, so let's not put the cart before the horse.
We'll get there.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, and my biggest responsibility as the chair of Finance Committee in the last few years is to be the cheap guy in the village. This means monitoring the budget, helping negotiate contracts, trying to find ways to reduce cost and expenditure. And you've all seen examples of it, me playing cheap. You can't get that. Why are we spending that? But I know it's hard to believe, Kelly. I'm such a generous person overall. In conclusion, you won't see many action items from finance or personnel coming before us as the committee in the whole. A lot of the work we do, that I've done in the past, has been in the background. It's come in here and work. But what I'll aim to do, and with Dina's help, is just give you updates at the committee of the whole meetings, to let you know what's being worked on, where we are. There will be things that will require your input, so you won't be left out in the dark. But
Like the designing of forms and different,
Yeah.
like you just talked about, so
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
And so I'll do my best to keep you updated and only bring things for approval when absolutely necessary, so we don't make this meeting long. Hopefully, this is the longest I'll speak at any one of these meetings. I'm done.
Jerry, what about the personnel evaluations?
Oh, thank you. Lynn and I have, about a week ago, we received the first evaluation form from GovHR, and we've edited it. Linda had input. I emailed it back to Joellen, I think it was yesterday, with changes on it and suggestions, and she'll have to get it back to me. This particular one is aimed at Jeff's position, and then we'll keep working on it. But we will have, it's a pretty good rating form. We'll have ratings, we'll have standards, we'll have goals, they'll be measurable. Would you agree with that, Linda?
I agree with that.
Okay, so it's much closer than we've ever been before, Georgiana.
Thank you.
I've actually seen it on paper.
Okay,
All right, thanks for reminding me.
You had mentioned that with the new software, we're going to be saving a lot of paper and everything will be, well, maybe not everything, but a good portion of information will be digitized.
Use your money, please.
Oh, okay.
My hero.
Yeah, everybody keep in mind though, that if you want to listen to this on YouTube, you have to use the mics, or they're not gonna hear it when they play the recording. So that's why the mics are important also.
To reiterate,
That, you're too close.
To reiterate, we have a lot more information of financial nature that's going to be digitized. The question is, where do we keep that information? Is it on an in-house computer here? Is it offline? Is it on a cloud someplace? And what kind of backup system do we have?
It is the short answer is, it's everywhere.
It's all of the
We have
above.
systems in place. Kelly can give you a little bit more detail about our backups approach.
Well, we have dual drives in our server closet, so the backups are happening. We have a on-site backup drive that backs up every night. We have one that we switch off and put that drive off-site, so if something ever happens, we're not that far away from re-getting our information.
Where do we keep the off-site backup?
It's in a secure location.
We could
Okay,
fine.
yeah, I know. That's mild.
Have we moved? Do we have cloud backup?
The cloud is more or less for our Microsoft Exchange email accounts. It's not, there's like a
It's not
sort
server.
of.
It's not our server backup.
There's our server backup, then we have some visual, I guess you would say a cloud backup. But part of, with going to this new software and that we're on it a little bit, I have it scheduled for me to work with Noah to do some testing of it over these next couple of weeks, hopefully to get that just to see, to make sure all that data is where it needs to be going.
Maybe this question will clarify it for George. If our computer closet blew up, with the exception of the actual server, if we lost all the memories and backup, how long would it take us to get back online with relatively current information?
Say that beginning part again. If the
If
server,
we had a major meltdown in the computer
Fire, the computer closet.
No, I don't want the whole fire, because that would blow the server itself.
Oh, okay.
If our,
Lose the data.
if we have a backup in the server room that was undamaged, but the other things were damaged, is that what you're saying?
yes,
Once we get new computers and that and get our IT guy out here, we could be up and running within probably a business day.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just for you.
Any other question on finance and human resources? Comments? Let's move on to economic development. Kevin Barrett.
Good evening, everybody. I sat down after I was appointed to this committee with the mayor. We chatted for a good hour and a half almost. And we bounced some ideas around what we'd like to do with some of the pieces of property that are open for economic development in the village. And one of the big things I'd like to do is put a little bit more of a push on the old Village Hall property. And then also possibly look at, if we're gonna market that piece of property, we're gonna have to get the landowners behind it to possibly make some improvements. Fine Line Auto has been basically a really bad neighbor because they've got just tons and tons of cars out there, and God knows what's laying out there in the tall grass in the fields. It could be a brownfield site for all we know. So we have to take a look at that. So Mayor and I came up with an idea that she would reach out to Lake County people, and that Jeff and I would go back there with the Lake County people, do a survey, take some pictures, and kind of sit down with Fine Line and say, listen, you guys got to clean your act up if we want to market some of this property, back here that's up to the village property. I reached out to a couple of different fast food places with a couple of different narrative type letters that I copied the mayor on. Her favorite, Jimmy John's, kind of slammed the door in our face and said, look, we don't want to put a shop in Hainesville. I said, that's all right. It's just a learning curve that we're going through now, to where I can write the narrative to actually go out and approach different restaurants, quick service stores, anything like that, because it's a nice piece of property. It's got egress off of 120. It's controlled by a stoplight, and you've got retail anchored by Walgreens. You've got two gas stations. You've got an automotive service place there. So there is a lot of opportunities out there. We just have to start knocking on the doors. And then the third thing that we're going to do is that we're gonna see if we can piggyback a little bit with Grays Lake marketing program. Eventually, we'd like to get together and sit down and talk to Tim Perry, who is a banker by trade, and see what Grays Lake is doing, and see if we can kind of, not do the same thing that they're doing, but, use them as a sounding board more or less, because Hainesville has a whole different dynamic than Grays Lake. And I think that was, the main gist of it. So I've got a hit list of about 8 or 9 other businesses that I have to go do some legwork and put together a punch list and sit down with the mayor and say, here's what we got. And if you guys want to copy the emails that I sent out to Jimmy Johns to take a look at the narrative, I'll be more than glad to forward it to you. So.
And to let you know, Kevin, I did talk to Bob Springer. He's doing a lot of teaching classes this week.
Okay.
So he didn't give me any exact dates, but he said starting the end of next week and then the following 2 weeks, let him know some dates or times, and he'd be willing to meet us on those properties.
Next week I'm pretty well buried because I'm traveling with my boss.
Okay, so any time the following 2 weeks before
Following
that.
weeks would be much more,
That's fine. That's probably better for him too.
yeah, for me to play hooky to it.
Okay. We don't want that.
Linda or Kevin, do either of you have any idea what the value of that property is with the old Village Hall property?
I think we'd have to ask like Bob Frank or something like that.
Well, we have
Had an appraisal.
We have 2 appraisals on it. One was older, we got a new one. I'll have to pull that out because there was one that we had that was 400,000 and the other one came in only at 210,000. So, but of course that's when the market was really low. So it would be interesting. I imagine it's gone up some again. So maybe we could bring those out and discuss that at the next committee of the whole and say, do we want to even go through?
Go through the appraisal process again.
The reason behind the question is, if we want to market it, since we own it, an incentive might be a greatly reduced sale price. If we can get someone in there that's really going to benefit the village.
The other thing I want to be careful is I really do want to pursue working with these property owners behind the Village Hall site and find out where they're headed. We're not looking to push any of these businesses out of the community, but they've been around a long time. I don't know how much longer they really are invested in staying in the community. Certainly Fine Line does have a lot of improvements to make, or they're going to start getting
Yeah, and I know
excited.
John has been talking retirement here lately, but, he's been pretty good, he takes care of his property and. he just-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But where I'm going with this, that even half of that property added with our Village Hall property makes an opportunity.
Well, yeah, it makes it much more marketable.
Makes
piece
it
of property.
much more marketable. And so I would like to also
Okay.
feel them out to see what their
See where
interest
they're- yeah,
is.
see what they're thinking about.
So we know what we're really marketing, what
Exactly.
size lot, yeah.
What are we telling people the advantages for coming to Hainesville? I mean, what are we
Well, the
selling?
advantage, right now, what I summarized to Jimmy Johns was that, it's that property is at this piece of property is at, where two state highways intersect. Within walking distance of it is a major automotive repair facility, i.e. Firestone. You have a Walgreens within walking distance, you have gasoline, you have parking, and you have egress in and off of 120 controlled by a stoplight.
Are we also doing anything with regard to using some kind of demographic study to see what kind of businesses would even be interested in this area because of the demographics?
No, I haven't done a demographic study, but I did include the fact that in the profile that Jimmy Johns was looking for is that they're looking for, X number of households, X number of rooftops, things like that. And I called out the fact that we have, across the street from this property, we have, the Cranberry Lake, townhomes and single-family home subdivisions. And Hainesville itself has got over, X number of rooftops. And I think it's because they're just a little too dense right now across the 120 corridor, is what I think has caused, why we got the rejection. But it was good just for a litmus test to see what kind of feedback we're going to get.
You were testing the waters.
Testing the water, just sticking my toe in the water, just to try it for a first-time narrative.
Yeah, and the other thing, just to add that, and Kevin and I did discuss this, of course, this was a short time ago, but, so we haven't had a chance to sit down with Al Maiden. But, you know, Al Maiden, our planner, has been attending some of the Route 53 meetings with me, or in lieu of me, depending what the topic is. So our time is best served, and we collect the best information. And in the land use committee, there's going to be some opportunities coming up where we're going to be able to get some updated demographics and other information that we can use for promoting Hainesville without us having to spend the time and money for all that research on our own.
Well,
So
yeah.
that's kind of the route.
I wasn't necessarily suggesting we
Yeah.
do all.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I just want to know that that's something that's coming down the road this summer, and actually, there's some information that I'll have, if not at the next committee of the whole meeting, probably by one of the July meetings. Some I'm going to forward to Kevin and stuff that he can work with the economic development, and it's something, some of it is just something the whole board should look at and consider and talk about.
Yeah, I would assume in your discussions that you would kind of war game what kind of businesses were even interested in having this.
Well, with a piece of property that size, it's gonna be somewhat limited because of, you're gonna have X number of parking slots, and you're gonna have egress in and off of 120.
Well, yeah, but you don't only have that piece.
Oh, no, I understand that.
The other.
I was marketing that particular property just to test the waters to see what, you know, to get myself up on the speed of learning curve, because I sell transportation, which is an intangible product, because, you know, it's going from A to B on a steamship and a train and an airplane, so it's the same thing, you kind of have to test the waters and see what the market's like out there right now.
Along with that, I understand that you're just working on this one, but I think that, in my opinion, that we should try and emphasize retail businesses so that we could get the sales tax benefit. Rather, I know that when we've had the candidates, you've been interested in light industry or office, and granted, we would get the property tax, but we wouldn't get any of the sales tax, so I'm just sort of advocating for more retail than office and then light industry.
Well, I think you're going to find it's going to have to be all of the above.
Well,
And we'll be reading information on that. Of course, let's keep in mind, we're just starting the committee of the whole format. We're just starting the economic development pursuit here now that the market is loosening up. And one of the presentations that I'm having sent to me is going to talk about what the market is driven, because everybody says they want retail, but most people aren't shopping in retail stores.
Shopping.
Yeah, they're shopping online. And even though there's a fight, you know, and changes about getting the tax dollars through that, stores aren't going to come back and malls aren't going to come back in popularity the way they've been. And so the retail market is changing. There are new hybrids of stores, but also to even get restaurants and fast foods. Yes, they like to see rooftops, but they also like to see employees. Employees of office or light industry are sometimes their best lunch customers. If this is your house, you're not going to go there to lunch every day. If you work across the street, you'll go to lunch there almost every day.
correct.
So it's going to be a mixed use, I think.
Let's upgrade to market our lakefront property.
Yeah, we can do that, we got a lot of this lakefront or Hainesville Road there, we can set up a recreational.
Maybe someone's got a use, a retail use for cattails.
I think boat repair.
You can sell cattails.
Hey,
If you could come up with a use for them, we'd be in business here.
Hey, you know what? We had people cutting them in front of the village hall
Yes.
a year ago
Yes.
because they want them for decoration. So there's a market for
Oh, I
you.
thought maybe they were weaving baskets or something.
Have a cattail stand. Okay, any other thoughts or ideas? Some good ideas here to get the juices flowing and what to come back with you with. So any other ideas on the economic development or thoughts? All right, Kevin, you got a good pool of information.
Yeah, it did, thank you.
Okay, public safety, Dina Hine. Dina has a couple updates for us here.
First, I'm going to apologize for my speech because I'm having some major dental work done, and there's a whole bunch of things in there, so there's marbles in there right now. So I'm really sorry that I sound like Cindy Brady from the Brady Bunch. Marsha. So we're going to have a blood drive on August 1st. It's going to coincide with the garage sale. It's going to be sponsored by Heartland Blood Centers. They're going to do all the marketing, and they're going to market it with the garage sale. So I'm not exactly sure how it's all going to work, exactly what they're going to do. I'm going to meet with their representative hopefully early next week and find out for sure how it's going to work. It's going to be here in the Village Hall. And then everybody who donates is going to get a $5 gift card.
From Target.
For Target. So, and that's from Heartland. So that should be really nice. And when I have more information next time, I'll give that out. And then I'm also working on a safety and evaluation plan for the Village Hall and for the Public Works Building. I've been in contact with the fire department, and she actually was able to, when I called her, she said, I thought I did one of those a few years ago. So she was able to find it for me. And it's kind of old. Ted's name is in here, and somebody else's name is in here.
The old Village Hall is probably still in there.
For this, the address?
It doesn't have an address, and it doesn't have a map
Okay.
of like what to really do, but it's got some information and some training information. So I've been looking that over, and then I'm going to meet with their representative also, and find out how to implement it here for the Village Hall and for the public works.
Yeah, and just so you know, the mission I gave Dina, we were talking about it, and Kelly has pointed this out to me numerous times, and she's asked for help in the past from prior EMA directors. If there's a fire, I think we know the basic rules, but we truly don't have a fire evacuation plan for this building. And procedures, because there should be procedures, what you do and what you don't do. And the more scary thing, especially after the last couple of years, is tornado. And what was interesting, we were at lunch and we were all talking about what each of us would do if there was a tornado, and we all had a different answer.
Well, I will find out and I'll let you know.
Sounds good, we're gonna call
I'm
Dina.
going to wire to the
I
kitchen.
think we need to dig a root cellar.
Okay.
The bathroom would have been a good idea.
Yeah, I said I'm on the bathroom.
That will serve multiple purposes.
Exactly. I can stay there a lot.
And that's all I have.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, now we're going to go down to administration, and that is my gig. Actually, Trustee George Duberstein asked me a good question recently, and he asked about when we get new residents that move into the community, whether they just purchased a new home, townhouse, or maybe they're a renter and now have come to our community, is what do they get from us, if anything? How do they learn information from the village? So I talked to our deputy clerk, and her and Kathy compiled what is mailed to new residents. So there's a cover letter, and then behind that is things you need to know. Welcome to Hainesville, and it gives you some information, actually some really good information, and you would hope they would put this in a safe place. Lets them know that we have a website, and so they can also find all of the same information on our website. And then finally, the other thing that is included in this packet is our magnet. Holiday time of 2013, we had these magnets made that Wally and I designed, and we mailed one to each current resident with a utility bill, and then every time somebody new comes in, new resident, they're mailed this. And we try to keep a couple handy by the window. We'll try to remember to do that, so if somebody comes in, they can grab it if they lost theirs or whatever the case may be. And then the other thing that Roseanne mentioned is, Georgiana, a while ago, you had gotten a bunch of coupons, I think, when you were pursuing another endeavor, and gave her the extra. So she has been mailing any coupons and letting you or the store know when she runs out. Now, not everybody is replenishing them.
No.
Some are, some aren't. So I don't know if we want to approach people again. So it's a good question, and this is what I like about the committee of the whole. It's always good to have a new set of eyes on everybody, on this. So I'd like everybody to look about it. I mean, do we need to revamp this? Could we have a better cover letter? Roseanne also let me know we are getting quite low on these magnets. So the question is, would we order more? And obviously we're not gonna have 1,500 made because that's what we ordered in 2013 because we mailed to all our existing residents. So I called, 250 would be $153.13. But they really would like us to order 500 because for only 50 bucks more, about $204.58, we can get 500. Do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have one suggestion on this need to know.
Yes.
For telephone numbers, you've listed the same number for all the trustees, which I understand, but why not just put our email addresses there? Because the telephone number is just from Village Hall.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is a very good idea.
In fact, I know I have an extension here, and I know that I put probably 5 years ago a message on it saying, do not leave any messages because I don't check this number. Email me at. I don't know if any of us use that number.
No, nobody does.
Can we just?
Use the emails, I think that's
Well,
about it.
no, not only that change, but let's get rid of the extension, the assigned extensions.
Well, other than I'm keeping my extension and the staff. Yeah, the staff.
The people that are involved,
Yeah.
get rid of them for the trustees.
Yes, okay. And then obviously if they want it, or they're trying to track you down, they can call the general number, but usually they would just send you an email, or we can answer their question, I think.
Talking about the coupons, I don't want to make any extra work that goes along with the business licenses, because I know that's a pain to begin with. But do you send out any reminders or something to the businesses that maybe you could include a note in there saying that if you would like to offer coupons to the new residents, we would include them in the welcome packet if you provide them to us?
Georgianne, we have such a difficult time with some of the businesses, just getting them to fill out the forms.
For the business
For the
license.
business license. I would not suggest doing it at that time because they get a police form, emergency contact form they need to fill out. They get our form that they need to just review, and that's next to impossible with some of these businesses. I think it should be an extra mailing.
Oh, I'm just trying to, I was just thinking that maybe you could combine things and make it easier for you, but maybe an extra mailing would be.
After we get the new software up and that new process in, it might be easier to do that because it should simplify business license. But as Kathy said right now,
But I think a separate mailing, just talking specifically about how to promote. It amazes me, we have offered to some of the businesses, numerous times to businesses, free advertising in our newsletter. How many times have we done it? Please send me anything you want to put in there. We'd be happy to talk about your new business. Do you want to put a coupon? Do you want to offer? We just go to our residents, anything. And they don't take advantage of it.
that's okay, because the residents will read it anyway.
I haven't seen something like that for quite a long time, that I think, that maybe.
And that's my point.
But maybe, is it that you don't get a response from the businesses, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or they say that's a great idea and I'll get something to you, and then it never comes. But here's a thought, something that I would like to do, and Kevin, this may also fall on your shoulders too. Maybe it falls under economic development as well, something we do together. I mean, it might be worthwhile trying to have some type of breakfast coffee with some of these business owners on a Saturday, especially those who rely on the local residents. Not all our businesses do, we have some like manufacturing and different kinds of businesses that may not be interested, but it would be nice to get some of the business owners together as a coffee and talk about what can we do to help you know?
We're here for Saturday morning,
You know,
Okay.
right? And maybe we could also get
Put a
ideas.
letter together and let's see what kind of feedback we get, and I'll give it to you, let you approve it, and if you like it,
Yeah,
or if you want to edit it, that's fine, let's send it out to, the local businesses and see if we can get some,
takers,
I think
yeah.
we should do it probably targeted to kind of coincide with back to school. Considering summer, we aren't getting anybody for summer.
You're right,
But
yeah.
back to school and then, you know.
And back to school is early. August is back to school.
Back to school, we're on that August,
Yeah,
September,
yeah.
because then everybody's, you know, back to school, back to work, and we're all thinking about, okay, what do I gotta do to get myself, especially for the HVAC guys for heating and cooling, Joe and John, you know, Joe Kane and John at Lake County, for, you know, automotive services, get your car ready for winter, I mean, see what they like to do, or then maybe offer something like that to them, to put it into the newsletter, to drive business to their respective units, business units. What do you think, Counselor? Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we know we want to order magnets. We got some, gonna change the emails. Anything else?
I gotta write the letter and get it to you.
But I mean for the packet, for what we're currently doing. So, noodle on it. Think about it. Just before we close, I want to add something. You know, Jerry was talking about the software and things that we can look up. One of the things that's very cool, and you'll see soon when you're able to go in and look at invoices. It used to be when invoices came in, Kelly had a sort of, and they went in a packet that went in my mailbox, and I would review them, and I would have a stamp them approved. And now she scans everything in the computer. I go in and sign in, and I can now bring up all the invoices that she needs my approval on. And if I want to see the detail, I can click on it and see a picture of the actual invoice if I have questions about the detail. Like, I don't remember this, or what, you know, why is it that much? What did they do? I can now go in and read the fine detail. And then there's a place that I can make comments or notes if I so choose. And so I do not have to be in the building to do that, which is very cool. It's just very awesome. So it is going to be really slick as we move forward. So. And with that, if there's no other comments, we'll move out to. No, we have to go to public comment.
So moved.
Any public comments?
So moved again.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 8:50. We made it through our first committee of the whole meeting. Aren't you proud?
Yes.